right if you can't exercise it. And that's where we're heading. It's not far off. Conservatives have been trained to see government as the only real threat to human freedom, and for much of the last 100 years that may have been true. It's not true anymore. The tyranny of woke capital is real, and it's terrifying. Just because they're selling you products doesn't mean it's not a dictatorship. Ethan Behrman hosts Left Coast News in California, and he joins us tonight. Ethan, I would think this would be the one subject on which you and I might find common cause, and I'm amazed by how many on the left are more than happy to give up their principles that they defended for generations because some big company is making liberal noises. Does this terrify you as much as it terrifies me?
It doesn't, only because we have such a track record from the right as well. I mean, we have Chick-Fil-A, we have Hobby Lobby that went all the way to the Supreme Court. No, it does a little bit because we shouldn't even be having the conversation. But it's happening on both sides, Tucker.
No, it's
and
not
it's not unique to the left at all.
Actually, it is unique to the left. It
absolutely is.
Maybe 50 years ago. But name a large multinational corporation in this country that's right of center.
I just named one. Chick-Fil-A, we have Bass Pro Shops, we have Hobby Lobby, we have,
Chick-Fil-A
it used to be Papa John's
and
Pizza.
Hobby Lobby.
Yep.
For real. Okay. Up against, like, American Express, Bank of America. I mean, are you serious? Really? So, I mean, okay.
The point is people these are companies that put values out there.
Okay. So you're okay with a company like Disney doing business in China, or Netflix doing business in Malaysia, where human rights are an afterthought. In Malaysia, homosexuality is illegal. That's totally cool because they make progressive noises when they're in the United States. You're willing to overlook that. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely not what I'm saying. So China and Malaysia clearly have significant problems. But what we have here are Disney has an influence in the United States. We have control over our own country. Georgia is moving away from women having a right to control their own bodies, while simultaneously we have groups on the right who reject providing birth control. Hobby Lobby again. So you would think if you want to cut down on abortion, we should make free birth control readily available
I've never
everywhere.
seen it. Where's the closest Hobby Lobby to you? Have you ever been in a Hobby Lobby before?
No, I don't usually walk into a Hobby Lobby. I don't have that kind of hobby that I go to the lobby.
Actually, it's absurd. So, okay, let me just ask you a question. Do you think that it is that a woman's first loyalty should be to the company she works for or to her family?
I think her first loyalty should be to herself and her family, and if she believes in God, it should be to God and her country. Companies shouldn't be the first place of loyalty, not usually, Tucker.
So does it make you a little bit nervous? Does it make, well, it's the position of companies that your duty ought to be to them and to shareholders. And that's why they're weighing in on a question as intimate as the question of abortion, okay? So does it make you a little bit nervous that Disney or Netflix have strong feelings about abortion? That doesn't bother you at all? Would it bother you if they had strong feelings about eugenics? I mean, they might.
Well, I mean, that's a much bigger discussion of why companies have First Amendment rights. I've debated this with other people as well.
I'm not denying their First Amendment. No, they're actively in favor of abortion. Why do you think that is? Because they're so progressive? Or maybe there's another reason.
I don't think that they're actively in favor. I think that's misstating the position, Tucker. They're not actively in favor of abortion. They're actively in favor of women having rights over their own bodies. And most of us don't believe that a collection of cells at day 3 of conception is not a baby until the soul has entered the body. And we're not even having that rational conversation.
This is actually, the law specifies after a heartbeat can be detected. They are arguing in favor of abortion. And I'm just wondering, have you asked yourself why? What's in it for them? Companies are rational. Why do you think they're in favor of it? Have you ever asked yourself that? Or is it just enough that they sound kind of liberal?
No. Tucker, Disney in particular has led on issues like LGBTQ, inclusion for their employees. I think that's a brilliant move on their part. Again, they have a majority of their employees are in favor of abortion rights and women to have control.
All right. Ethan Behrman, great to see you tonight.
Thanks, Tucker.
After